Thank you, Ken. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, my name is Jason RAVNSBORG, and I'm running for the United States Senate in South Dakota. So why am I here in Texas? Well, you just had a primary, and you guys need to come together, because we have to win these seats and take back our country. If we do not, and we hand it back to the Democrats for another term, you'll get more of the same. I don't like more of the same, and I hope you don't either. As Ronald Reagan once gave a speech, we now have a time for choosing. We can continue to go down the same path of a limp economy, a health care law that none of us want, and out-of-control spendings. Or we can choose another course. But we can only do it if we all work hard together. We must educate, motivate, and activate the American people. Yes, I am a citizen soldier. I'm a major in the Army Reserves. I've been deployed 3 times, actually, to Germany, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I was awarded a Bronze Star and honored before Congress. We've done a lot of good things overseas, but we need to do a lot of good things here at home. I seek to be a citizen senator, as we need more statesmen and less career politicians. Some of these career politicians have been in office as long as I've been alive, and they only worry about getting reelected. That's pretty sad. We need to send more people to Washington, D.C. that are willing to buck the mentality of, this is how we've always done it, and do so like you've done here in Texas by sending us Mr. Cruz. We've also sent 3 other gentlemen from around the country that have never been elected before. While we have small numbers, we're growing, and in time, we can make a difference. We need to send people to D.C. that care about our country first and their own self-interest last. I have promised I will not take any kind of pay increase or pension or any kind of perk that they have voted themselves over the years until we balance the budget. Our country is drowning in red ink. We spend $30 million a year paying ex-congressmen and senators for their pensions. That is ridiculous, especially when we're $17 trillion and rising in debt. So I challenge you here in Texas and all over to challenge your candidates to make similar promises. Do they serve themselves or do they serve you? I hope they serve you. I do not believe our founders intended us to go to Washington and stay there forever and become career politicians. So far, career politicians have run up $17 trillion in debt. This is outrageous and unsustainable. We cannot just kick the can down the road and not address these problems. We are spending $2.6 billion a day that we do not have. For every $2 we spend, we borrow 3. As you saw with Ukraine and Russia and their influence, these foreign countries have influence on us. China owns $1 trillion of our debt, and so does Japan. We cannot gamble with our future and with our children's future. If we continue to elect career politicians, we will continue to get the same sad result. So, after hearing members of my own party back in South Dakota attacking each other, refusing to support each other if they did not win the primary, and our own party's nominee, potential frontrunner, refusing to debate, I decided to take some action. I did not think I'd ever run for political office, but I took some of the money that I had earned myself on my deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan and started my own campaign. I've been surprised by the outpouring of support across my state because, number one, I'm going to every county, talking on the Indian reservations and seeing the people. I am the first person in so many towns, it's astonishing. I think you deserve, here in Texas and around the nation, senators that see the people that you don't just see on TV. We can and must do better for our country. Jobs. Our president promised us all these jobs. Said they'd be shovel ready. Then he laughed about it when they weren't. It's not a laughing matter. We need to get our country working again by producing jobs. Take a look at the clothes that you're wearing. Anyone wearing anything not made in China anymore? It's a sad state of affairs. We need to start making jobs. While the president oversees an economy that limps along, China's is growing rapidly. They're taking resources from around the world and sending them back and fueling their economy. Meanwhile, we're battling with budget deficits. I intend to introduce legislation to lower the corporate tax rate for the whole nation from 35% to 25% over the next 10 years. That will produce approximately 5.3 million jobs over the next 10 years. Mr. President, we need some leadership. He is seeking to make some cuts, but unfortunately they're in the wrong areas. He's seeking to gut our military. But then he's not going to take the savings and apply it towards the debt. He wants to apply it to more social programs. We must educate, motivate, and activate the American people about what he is seeking to do. I believe the federal government's primary responsibility is to protect the American people. However, the president's recent proposals to gut our military will put us in jeopardy. Last December, they passed a budget. In that budget, it cut veterans' benefits. This is outrageous. We cut $6 billion, but we give $17 billion to breast implants. Come on. Now he seeks to reduce our military to pre-World War II levels. We cannot allow this to happen. He seeks to eliminate the commissaries on our military bases. This will hit directly at the pocketbooks, especially of our youngest soldiers, and with the least rank and the least amount of money. As the colonel who spoke here said earlier, he was fighting in an A-10 Warthog. They seek to eliminate those also. Well, I'm an Army man that was in Afghanistan. That weapon is essential. If we eliminate the A-10 Warthog, we're gonna eliminate some lives. And it's going to be on this president's watch. We cannot allow him to do this. As President Reagan said, we must have peace through strength, not through weakness. As we've all seen recently in Ukraine, weakness doesn't get the job done. We can and must do better. The president is leading us on a war. Unfortunately, it's a war on coal and oil and our own energy independence. He is seeking to shut down coal plants at an alarming rate across this country, which will not only cost us jobs, but lead to increased energy prices for all Americans. Currently, 40% of America's electricity is derived from coal. In the State of the Union address, he took credit for oil production increase. What he didn't say is he's not renewing the public leases. They're on private ground. American ingenuity is making it happen. I believe we need to use our own resources. And frankly, I'm tired of going to the Middle East to fight wars for oil when we have our own resources here in the United States. We need to pass the XL pipeline. Mr. President, a majority of the Senate even agrees with this. A number of Democrats even agree. Mr. President, you say you can do things with your pen. Let's make that one happen. The president also has another war. He has a two-front war. Unfortunately, again, it's upon us. It's a war on our medical care. We need a Republican Senate to repeal Obamacare. We cannot get it done if we do not get a Republican Senate. You may not agree with the person that won the primary or not here, but you need to support him, to influence him, get him behind you to repeal Obamacare. We need to get this done. The message is getting loud and louder. This week, we won an election in Florida that they said we weren't going to win. The Democratic candidate there had run for governor and had pretty high name recognition, but she embraced Obamacare. We need to repeal Obamacare and inform Senator Reid and Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama that is something we do not want. In my travels as a candidate, I've met many people. And sadly, I've come across many heartbreaking stories regarding Obamacare. Harry Reid says we're all a bunch of liars. Well, Senator Reid, I've got a number of people you can come meet. Unfortunately, I have met a gentleman that is 63 years old. He's a man, and he's going to lose his health care coverage because he does not have prenatal care. Again, he's a man, not expecting to have many children himself. His plan doesn't have pediatric coverage. His children are grown. He says, I like my plan, but unlike what the president told me, I'm not going to be allowed to keep it because my plan doesn't have these provisions I do not need. He complained, and so did the members of his company. And they were told, well, we'll let you transition for a couple months, but your plan's going to go from $300 a month to $700 a month. More than double. And it's only for 2 months while you find something else. Then good luck. Senator Reid, we are not lying. We are hurting. Unlike Texas, at least he knows where you guys live. The president hasn't even come to our state yet, and he's been in office for 6 years. Obamacare is also costing us jobs. Obamacare is also costing us jobs. To meet the rules, which change daily, even though we do not have laws to change them daily with Obamacare, employers are being penalized. They say for a 40-hour work week, you get so many people. Well, employers are voluntarily cutting people's work hours. They're cutting them predominantly down to 29 work hours a week so they can get within the provisions of Obamacare and have less employees. It's going to cost us approximately 2 million jobs. Thank you, Mr. President, but that's change we do not need. We need a president that respects and follows the Constitution. The president does not have any authority to give or delay exemptions to Obamacare. He wanted it. He got it passed. Now he's got to live with it or let us change it. We need to change it. But if we repeal it, these people will get back their insurance coverage, and then we can look at something else. I do believe that we need to replace it in some fashion. I like Senator Coburn, your neighboring senator from Oklahoma. He has what they call the Patient Care Act. He's a doctor. I'd much rather trust a doctor with my health care than a community organizer. They want to say it's the law of the land, and it is. But if we are a nation of laws, how is it different for the president picking which laws he wants to follow and a criminal doing the same thing? We are a nation of laws, not of the president not following the laws that he wishes to. No one is above the law. I would always offer an amendment to make every law that applies to the people and apply to the president. If they want to be above the law, make them vote so and put their name on it so you can vote them out at the next election. The president is also seeking to pack our courts with liberal judges. He has stripped away the Senate's power to filibuster. Well, he's done this on purpose, not just to pack the courts, but he's also done this, in fact, so he can pass these executive orders. The D.C. Court of Appeals was 5-5 and evenly divided. Then they changed the rules in the Senate, just like they changed the rules in the Senate to pass Obamacare. We cannot allow them to get away with these type things. So we must come together and elect a Republican Senate with a Republican House to give us more leverage against this president in the last couple years of his term. If we do not, he will continue to pass the laws and pass these judges through uncontested. And to pass through these nominees like the Surgeon General who's wanted to take away our gun rights. Absolutely unacceptable. In South Dakota, we have an opportunity to help the nation. We have an opportunity because there's a Democrat retiring. And we have an opportunity to pick up a seat. But we need to pick up 6 seats. So, if you're here in Texas or you have candidates that you know in neighboring states like Louisiana, help them out. Tell everybody that you know. If you know one relative, tell them. Also, I challenge each of you to sign 5 people up, become voters. In the last election, we would have a President Romney if we had 4 million Republicans who did not vote go to the polls and vote. We cannot be apathetic. We need to get out there and do the hard work. Hard work does produce results. Together, we can continue the American dream. You can check me out on my website, which is www.jason4southdakota, and I'm also on Facebook. But I need your help, but also need your prayers. Before I started this journey, I read a passage in the Bible. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you, and He will not abandon you as well. Together, we can make a difference. And Mr. President, yes, we can. Thank you, and may God continue to bless America.
Well done. Thank you, Major.